A special edition of Hannity starts right here, right now, as we check in first with Frank Luntz and his special focus group tonight.
Sean, we've got 27 floating undecided voters here in southern Florida. Show of hands, how many of you voted for Barack Obama in 2008? Raise your hands. So this is a pretty Obama-dominated group. But what did you think about Mitt this evening? Go.
Wall Street driven, certainly not a well-rounded leader.
Business-like as always.
Presidential and competent.
I feel like Romney didn't distinguish his policies from the Obama administrations.
I think he understands the importance of friendship with Israel.
I think he was assertive, confident, and very hungry for the job.
I actually found him to be more human and relatable tonight.
Winning.
Okay. We're not Charlie Sheen here. So explain to me, every time that Mitt Romney brought it to the economy, the dials went up. You've got to explain that. This is a foreign policy debate. Why would you dial higher when they were talking about economic policy?
Because he has the experience. Mitt Romney has the experience. He has the shown experience. He is capable of taking this country and turning it around. And once we have that, we'll have more security. We need that security.
For most, it's Obama's Achilles heel. How can he possibly ignore it?
The reality of the situation is foreign policy is secondary to our dreadful economy. And Mitt Romney has a plan to improve the economy. Obama does not.
Mitt Romney's aware that the economy is the major issue, so he keeps bringing it back to that because that's what appeals to most voters.
Okay, so does that. Which is more important to you, foreign policy or economic policy? Economic. Who says foreign? Raise your hands. One. Who says economic? Virtually everybody. So is that a good strategy to do that?
The president must be well-rounded and versed in all areas. You can't be more weighty on one side than the other. Mitt Romney belongs in the private sector, and economics is his strength somewhat.
Benghazi, I don't think the president is qualified to be commander-in-chief.
I believe that Americans are a little bit impatient, and in my humble opinion, on this in this instance, they're spoiled.
When we have issues
We're not
like
spoiled.
when we have the
Americans
issues like we have,
4 Americans who are dead. This is serious. Of course it has something to do. It has something to do with integrity. It has something to do with honesty. It has something to do with they lied about it.
When we talk about Benghazi.
Hold on. Sean, hold on. We are on live television, and I have lost control. Please help me.
When we talk about Benghazi, there are some things we don't want to ignore, and we cannot do that. And the main thing we cannot do is that the president gets information through intelligence.
In the words of the great James Carville, it's the economy, stupid.
Go ahead.
the bottom line comes down to is our economy is weak. And if we're not a strong America, there's nothing more that we can do with a weak military for anybody else outside.
Okay, you're nodding your head. Go ahead, tell me why.
Well, it starts at home. You have to have a good, stable roots and to be able to go out there and show other people and other countries that we can handle it.
I think the president did well tonight. I expected him to do well. He did well on the foreign policy, but I do agree it's not about the foreign policy in this election. It is about the economy.
I think it's about everything.
We heard a lot of cliches tonight.
I think it's about everything.
Wait, Paul, go ahead.
If we're going to have a strong military, we've got to have the money to pay for it.
And which one is more likely to bring a strong military?
We have to have the money. We have to have the money.
Which candidate? Which
I think Romney.
In the back.
Okay, but trade is a big foreign trade thing. So it is a big thing in the economy.
Economy, I mean, the economy of this country is first, and you need to be a strong country to be able to lead in the world.
I got to wrap this up. I want a show of hands for the people at home. How many of you think that Mitt Romney did a better job on the economic parts of tonight's debate? Raise your hands.
Oh, yeah.
Now watch this. How many of you thought Barack Obama did a better job on the foreign aspects of this? See, what you've got here, Sean, is I credit you because they can see that one candidate has advantages in one area and the other candidate in a different area, that they have enough of a ability to decipher the differences that they award Mitt Romney on economic and they award Barack Obama on foreign policy. And, of course, we'll be doing more about this shortly. Back to you, Sean.
And, of course, they're saying that economics is by far the defining issue in the campaign. We're going to have more of Frank Luntz and his Florida Focus Group coming up later tonight, but first... And tonight we are coming to you live from the post-debate spin room. We are at Florida's Lynn University, and for more reaction to tonight's face-off between President Obama and Governor Romney, we head back to Fort Lauderdale with Frank Luntz and a group of undecided swing state voters. Frank, I have one question for everybody there in the focus group, because it was very interesting on the economy, highest marks for Governor Romney, and they thought on debate points. Here's Charles Krauthammer tonight made an observation that I happen to agree with, and that was Governor Romney went big, was not going to get into the back and forth, na-na-na sort of childish game, was not attacking the president. And the president seemed at times very desperate and kind of small with these petty attacks. And he said, well, what I've learned as commander-in-chief, and I'm thinking, you used to be a community organizer. You were a state senator for 2 years that voted present. Did that bother the focus group at all, those petty attacks?
Did that bother the...
Yes, what I said before. Please, last time you interrupted me, this time I'm speaking. That's what I said before. He was talking, and he kept jobbing it at Mitt, and I'm not okay with that. Say your opinion and move on.
Patricia.
Just like this.
Obama didn't have experience when he took office. He was a community organizer. Our biggest problem in the country is our economy, and Mitt Romney has proven he can handle fiscal issues.
Mitt Romney can handle the fiscal issues. He has that history. But we have a president who hasn't given us a budget in 3 years and a president who hasn't explained Benghazi yet.
Obama served as a state senator from Illinois.
Therefore?
He had the experience in government to try to do things in government. And he even said himself, you can't change government from the inside.
He barely voted while he was in government. While he was a senator, he barely voted.
Yeah, but I think the difference is when you look at him is that you have someone that is strictly from a community organizer background and government, where you have with Mitt Romney, you have private sector and government. So you put both of those together, and that creates a better argument on the economic side.
I want to make this accurate and fair to the viewers at home. How many of you thought on points tonight's debate that Barack? Raise your hands. So it's overwhelming. But after looking at all four debates, when it comes to the economy, how many of you think Mitt Romney would be better in handling the economy? Raise your hands.
Hands down. Hands down.
So that's what's interesting about this, Sean. And what I want to do is there are two special clips, 2 dial clips that are really powerful. Let's start with Mitt Romney. He talks about being strong at home requires you to be strong abroad. Let's take a look because it was one of his high points of the debate.
But in order to be able to fulfill our role in the world, America must be strong. America must lead. And for that to happen, we have to strengthen our economy here at home. You can't have 23 million people struggling to get a job. You can't have an economy that over the last 3 years keeps slowing down its growth rate. You can't have kids coming out of college, half of whom can't find a job today, or a job that's commensurate with their college degree. We have to get our economy going. And our military. We've got to strengthen our military long term. We don't know what the world is going to throw at us down the road. We make decisions today in a military that will confront challenges we can't imagine.
So what is it about strength, about being strong, that you reacted to?
Well, we definitely aren't going to be viewed internationally as a strong country or strong as we go out into the world and try to bring peace if we have all this turmoil in our own country. We have to strengthen ourselves first, and then we can help others.
Now, I also want to play, Sean, the best moment for Barack Obama. It was a shot. It was one of those that kids will be studying 20 years from now. Mitt Romney gave a great comparison to the current military versus 100 years ago, but then Barack Obama was prepared. Let's listen.
I think Governor Romney maybe hasn't spent enough time looking at how our military works. You mentioned the Navy, for example, and that we have fewer ships than we did in 1916. Well, Governor, we also have horses and bayonets because the nature of our military's changed. We have these things called aircraft carriers where planes land on them. We have these ships that go underwater, nuclear submarines. And so the question is not a game of battleship where we're counting ships. It's what are our capabilities?
So what was so powerful about that?
I think Mitt Romney's comparisons were unfair. Technology has advanced. We can do a lot more with a lot less. And as long as we're focused and we're going in the right direction and we're taking care and protecting this country, that's what matters.
He's right. Technology's made huge advances. In 1917, my grandfather was riding a horse and buggy, and now I drive, you know, a really nice car. So there's no comparison.
Now I want to do something really special. Do you see the art around you? What do you think of it? I want to introduce the artist. Come on in. John, before we leave, this is the man that has decorated these sets for this entire year, Steve Penley. You've heard what America means to them. What does it mean to you?
The greatest country in the history of civilization.
And you love these guys around you?
Yes.
Who's your favorite?
Reagan.
You just said exactly what Sean Hannity wanted to hear. I encourage you at home to take a look at this art. I hope you can get a wide shot of it because it really is magnificent. You guys in Florida, there's a reason why you matter so much. Because you look at these issues very specifically, and you come, I think, in the end to the right decision. And I just want to thank you for contributing all this wonderful art, because this is America. Sean, back to you.
All right, Frank Luntz and his focus group. And coming up next, Romney advised.